So perhaps you recognize this chick. I made a video on her a while back. This is the "he made the feminism leak out of me" chick. This is the one that went out with that conservative dude. She got millions of views or hundreds of thousands of views. I don't know. She got millions of views, I thought. They even did a story on her on Fox News or something where she was talking about how she went on a date with a conservative dude and he was just so wonderful, hot, and he paid for everything, rich, that she just wanted to give up her feminism and it just leaked out of her. I'm sure that wasn't the only thing that leaked out of her. I might have mentioned that too during the video on that particular TikTok she did. Well, now she's back, this attention hoe. And she's got her nose ring and no makeup. Got her fried hair. God, what is it with you women? The ghost white blonde hair that doesn't match your eyebrows. Why do you ladies do that? It looks so atrocious. Which is probably why she did it, because she's a big giant feminist and they just love ugly stuff, including uggifying themselves. So she's back, calling out her father, embarrassing her father, trying to get her own father canceled. She's a horrible human being, as I already knew when I watched her video where she said the feminism leaked out of her. Apparently not. She hates daddy, hates his masculinity, hates his maleness, hates him. And doxes him in the process, and doesn't seem to be too bothered by doing that. So anyway, let's hear what she has to say about dear old dad, shall we?
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to actually be funny.
By the way, when is trauma funny? I mean, unless you're watching a Mr. Bean skit, I can't think of any trauma that's funny, and that's traumatizing by itself. But at least there's some humor there. But I'm getting traumatized. But what trauma is actually funny? Well, we're going to hear her, I guess. By the way, she's also a wannabe comedian, and she ain't funny.
Go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is,
I'd love to hear his side of the story, by the way.
A wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and then pursued amateur breakdancing. And he got really good. He blew up. He became a D-list celebrity status, viral breakdancer. He became
She sounds almost proud of this father who she clearly doesn't really like very much. Oh, he's on her shirt. Interesting.
The oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world. Then he got on Good Morning America and talk shows, and Washington Post wrote about him, and he went super viral, and he did all these interviews, and he danced with Paula Abdul. And here, I'll show you.
Take a look at this 60-year-old breakdancer. Yes, 60 years old. Amazing. That's Ben Hart. He's competing at a breakdancing.
That's his name. So she's advertising his name and saying that he's a deadbeat dad, and she's got tons and tons of TikTok followers. I think I see where this could be going, and it's not good for him.
Competition in Philadelphia, and he may not have won, but I tell you what, he is winning over a lot of people on the internet. Yes. He really is.
Okay.
Yep. He's winning over a lot of people on the internet.
This guy wouldn't pay my medical bills.
I'd love to hear the other side of that story, and I'd love to hear what these medical bills were, by the way. Probably her getting an abortion. Probably an abortion or something else like that. Probably some unnecessary medical procedure, right? He would pay my medical bills. I was going to die. No, she didn't say that. Medical bills. Yeah, were they necessary medical bills? That we don't know.
The worst part, damn it, he's good. He should not be able to move his body like that. It's impossible. It's beautiful. Hey, Dad. There was no split custody or anything. He just...
That's not his fault. By the way, the courts almost always give custody to the woman, so how is that his fault?
Left 4 kids to do that. He may not have paid for some of my medical bills growing up, but he did give me this breakdancing merchandise. So that's him. He's on his head. Benny Hanna is his b-boy.
I'd love to know what these medical bills were that she wanted him to pay for that he wouldn't pay for. She probably thought she was trans at one point, and she wanted to get her, what's removed. I'm sure it's something that is questionable, ethical, morally, ethically, and probably not necessary. Or I don't know. I'm sure that he has his side.
name because his name is
And I'd be willing to bet that it differs.
Hart. You know, I'll get texts like this, "Happy birthday?" ? And then like links to his breakdancing video.
So I lost track of the date. Happy birthday. He lost track of your birthday. Okay. Yeah, that happens. Oh, yeah, it's usually is. Of course, you're going to find out why soon.
So if you have funny trauma, like actual funny haha trauma, I need to hear it. Thank you.
So we have this horrible human being on the left here, Maddie Hart. I'm surprised she uses her father's last name as much as she seems to hate him. And she went on her TikTok and badmouthed Daddy, doxed him, went out of her way to portray him in the worst way possible, saying he wouldn't pay her medical bills. And when I hear medical bills, I think of medical bills that are necessary. We don't really know what those medical bills are. We're never going to find out what those medical bills are. There's always two sides to every story. So she's decided to use what she calls her estrangement, her difficult or non-existent or very tense relationship with her father to create drama content for her TikTok. Yeah, give me some more attention, please. By trying to humiliate my father. Well, he had a response. You want to hear it? It's pretty good stuff.
Okay, I wake up at 6 a.m. to do some work. I get my coffee. I sit down. I open my computer. And what am I greeted with? Well, hundreds of comments calling me a deadbeat dad, a child abandoner, and all manner of other insults. So I think, what's this all about? Well, after a few minutes of investigation, I discover that my daughter, Maddie, has made a video about me. She's a screenwriter in Hollywood. She's also a big social media influencer with millions of followers. Some of her videos get millions of views. And this video has tens of millions of views. 1 million likes, 20,000 comments, 40,000 bookmarks, 30,000 reposts. It's just insane. So I thought I'd better watch this video. And frankly, I was pretty chagrined by what I heard, to say the least. But honestly, the more I watch this video, the more I like it. Well, I like about 98% of it. However, I do need to correct a few statements in the video. But
this is why the whole believe all women thing is a problem.
First, let's just watch Maddie's 90-second video, and then I'll give you my comments.
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to actually be funny. I'll go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and then pursued amateur breakdancing.
Some more context is needed here. Needless to say, I will talk about this in a moment. All right, let's continue with the video.
And he got really good. He like blew up. Like he became like a D-list celebrity status, like viral breakdancer. He became like the oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world. Then he got on Good Morning America and talk shows, and Washington Post wrote about him, and he went super viral, and he did all these interviews, and he danced with Paula Abdul. And here, I'll show you.
You sure you're not jealous, Maddie? Not trying to compete with Daddy? No.
To see, take a look at this 60-year-old breakdancer. Yes, 60 years old.
Okay.
Amazing.
60 is not bad.
That's Maddie Hart. He's competing at a breakdancing competition in Philadelphia, and he may not have won, but I tell you what, he is winning over a lot of people on the internet. Yes. He really is.
Yep, he's winning over a lot of people on the internet.
This guy wouldn't pay my medical bills.
That is not true. More on that in a minute.
Not true. Please.
The worst part, damn it, he's good. He should not be able to move his body like that. It's like impossible. It's beautiful. Hey, Dad.
Thank you, Maddie.
Like there was no split custody or anything. Like he.
By the way, is anybody other than me getting the feeling that Mom has trashed this fucking guy, this poor guy, throughout her entire childhood, and that's why she feels so comfortable dissing him, downing him, talking badly about him, lying about him, while at the same time expressing affection? Hey, Dad, how you doing? Oh, your dance was beautiful. You're a deadbeat. All in the next breath. Yeah.
Just like left 4 kids to do that. He may not have paid for some of my medical bills growing up, but he did give me this breakdancing merchandise. So that's him.
Yes.
On his
That is a nice shirt.
This is BB boy name because his name is Ben Hart.
Such a
you know, I'll get texts like this, "Happy birthday?" ? And then like links to his breakdancing video.
That's true.
You have funny trauma, like actual funny haha trauma. I need to hear.
Her whole childhood trauma is he forgot my birthday.
It. Thank you.
Okay, in many ways I love this video. And of course, I love my daughter Maddie. And we get along great, at least I think.
Well, so there's already the unconditional love of a father. He's not a deadbeat. He's not a scumbag. He clearly loves her. He never abused her, didn't neglect her. He was a good father. You'll find out soon why I say that.
I think we do. But a few corrections are in order, or at least a few things that need to be put in context. First, I can see that as a 5-year-old, Maddie would see her dad as having abandoned the family. One day I was living there, the next day I wasn't. And that will look like abandonment to a child. But married couples do get divorced about half the time in America. And I was just living a mile or so down the street in LaGrange, Illinois. We just weren't living under the same roof. Now, about not paying medical bills, that's just not correct. Here was the financial arrangement of the divorce. Maddie's mom, my ex-wife, got $2 million at the get-go, out of the gate, a lump sum payment. Plus, I was paying her.
He had $2 million to give her. And this was like 20 years ago.
$18,000 per month in child support and alimony. This was later reduced to $12,000 per month. And of course I paid health insurance and out-of-pocket medical costs. I also put $600,000 into the kids' college fund. In all, I paid out about $5 million to my ex-wife to cover costs for her and the kids. And this is in 2005 dollars.
Whoa!
So add 50% to account for inflation. In other words,
So $10 million in today's money. Yeah.
I was not a deadbeat dad at all. And by the way, Maddie did
Or
not
at least $7.5 million. Yeah. Quite a bit of money, right? Quite a bit of money. Yeah.
say that in her video, but a lot of the comments assume that and say that. Now, of course, there was no way for Maddie to know how much I was paying because she was a kid.
See, this is how I also know he's a good father. He's running interference for his own daughter that badmouthed him online and lied about him even, and he's going out of his way to protect her. Bad father wouldn't do that. Father that didn't care wouldn't do that. He cares. Father that did not love her would not do that. Now, she says that he abandoned their family because he wasn't around a lot. Yeah, he had to pay your mama $18,000 a month in child support and alimony, and I bet you she never got married because she didn't want that juicy freight train at Cashola to stop arriving at the station, yo! And that's why you didn't see him a lot. He had to work his ass off. He's probably working 16-hour days, 6 days a week, resting on the 7th day. Even God had to rest on the 7th day, so the Bible says. This guy better than God? No, he's got to get at least 1 day of rest in. So when's he able to see his kids? Never, because he's got that big giant child support not to pay. He's got to support your household and his own household because he got remarried. And may or may not have had more kids with the woman he remarried. So he's got 2 households to support. And yet somehow you would think he's going to have time to see you? When he doesn't have custody or live there anymore? Yeah, okay.
It's something I talked about. Also, remember that I was living 1 mile down the road from the kids in LaGrange, Illinois. Sidewalks all the way. An easy walk or bike ride. I saw the kids all the time. No abandonment, just a divorce. Was I at fault in the divorce? Yeah, I would say I was about 70% at fault. I own that. Maddie's mom and I were really not compatible in many ways. We were compatible.
By the way, I'm not so sure that he's being honest here. He seems to take a lot upon himself. He's going out of his way to run interference for and make excuses for his daughter. Why in the world would I think that he's not the same way with his wife? I wonder who initiated that divorce, by the way.
Compatible in some ways, but not in other ways. Do I regret marrying Maddie's mom? No, absolutely not. If I had not married Maddie's mom, Maddie and her 3 siblings would not have been born. They would not have existed. The kids have turned out great. Maddie graduated from Northwestern University and is a screenwriter in Hollywood. Maddie's older sister, Tori, is a partner at a hedge fund on Wall Street, and she's getting rich. Maddie's younger sister Olivia just graduated from college and is teaching English to first graders in Thailand. Her older brother Peter is getting a master's degree in psychology.
So is only one of these kids younger than Maddie? And then the other two are older than Maddie? And this guy right now is 65, I believe, at the making of this video. He's 65 or 66. He's got kids that are possibly as old as 30. 4 kids. He'd have had to start popping them out at 36 himself. And he got with a woman that had to have been at least 10 to 15 years younger, and they just happened to get divorced, and she got a giant lump sum payment, $18K a month. I wonder if the daddy is actually to blame for daddy not being in the picture. I wonder if Maddie has taken a look at and put any blame on mommy, who I'm starting to get a gold digger feel from. But anyway, continue, cue ball man.
I get along great with all my kids, including Maddie. At least I think.
I don't think you do, or she has a very different perception. Well, she's a libtard, so yeah, she's got a different perception than everybody else on the planet with half a brain.
I do. So the kids are doing just fine despite Dad's many shortcomings. One other slight correction, which I hesitate to even bring up, because I love the way Maddie did this in her video. I did not abandon the family for breakdancing. I have a career. I'm in the advertising business, built an ad agency. That's how I was able to afford to pay Maddie's mom $5 million.
So, rich guy, much younger woman, ends in divorce not long after they get married. Doesn't make it a decade, of course, because the vast majority of marriages last well under a decade. Well, not well under. I think the average is 8.7 years, but very few make it past the 10-year mark.
Maddie's mom and I separated in 2004 and divorced in 2005. I took up breakdancing entirely by accident in 2012 as a way to get in shape at the age of 54. I then just kept doing it. I'm now age 66.
Oh, 66.
Now, some of you might be wondering, can he still breakdance at age 66? Well, I don't know. Let's see. I'll give it a try. Okay, Maddie, let's see how the old man does. The main point is that it's never too late to start breakdancing. I started when I was age 54. I'm now age 66. So there's really no excuse for anyone not to be breakdancing. So the bottom line is this. At first, I really did not like Maddie's video at all.
And you shouldn't have. And you shouldn't be running interference or making excuses, but she's your kid, so how can you not feel compelled to do so?
But I was biased by all the negative comments that I was greeted with at 6 a.m. in the morning in my social media feed.
And by the way, I find it very interesting that she didn't realize what would happen. That people would brigade his social media, send him nasty messages. I mean, is she really that stupid? That short-sighted? That lacking in conscientiousness that she just didn't foresee that possibility when she threw his name out there and his picture? Come on, she knew. She knew. She knew what would happen.
But the more I watch the video, the more I like it. And her video certainly is true from her perspective. Even though
I think I'm starting to see where some of her libtard tendencies come from. This, Obi-Wan Kenobi be is from a certain point of view. Crapola, no, the truth is the truth. There is no your truth, my truth, you cue ball looking mofo. There's just truth.
Few details are off. No doubt.
A few? Most of them were way off. You're being too kind, pal.
Because of what she heard from her mom.
Ah.
And I do think it's a great storyline. That a
About the medical stuff, no doubt.
54-year-old dude left his family to pursue breakdancing. Even if not quite true, factually. But perhaps it speaks
No, it's true, it's not true. There's no quite. God.
to a bigger truth. A truth that is really truer than the actual facts of the matter. This could be a very funny movie plot. So maybe Maddie will make this
A truth that is truer than the facts of the actual matter. I'm having a real hard time understanding what the hell this guy's talking about sometimes. He sounds a lot like his daughter. I guess that's where she gets some of it. The mushmouth garbage. Truer than the truth that is true.
movie about her 66-year-old breakdancing dad. Also, as they scroll through the 12,000...
Well, couldn't she have just done that? I'm proud of my dad. He's a 66-year-old breakdancing dude. He's been in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's tried out for Olympic events or some crapola or been on Good Morning America. I don't know. No. I got to badmouth him because he's my dad. He's a man. Yeah.
Comments on Maddie's video. I really like most of them. Some are hilarious. Here are a few I'll read at random. This one is from someone named Ro, and she says, "My mom abandoned me as a kid to join a Renaissance fair across the country." This is from Maria. "I didn't know my dad was bald until my mom knocked his toupee off in a fight when I was 10. My mom didn't know he was bald then until that moment." This is from Diane. "In foster care mandated therapy, the therapist told me I had abandonment issues, and then stopped showing up to the sessions. I never saw her again." This one's from Bravo. "My mom died the week of Mother's Day, and my father died on Father's Day weekend. It's honestly so typical of both of them." This is from Clover. "My dad tried to kidnap me and ran out of gas while following us." This one from Chriselle. "I had to be my mom's boss at Dairy Queen when I was 17 and had to fire her for smoking while working the drive-thru." Becca says, "When my grandma passed away, my grandpa moved into a senior's home, met another woman, and brought her as a date to the funeral." Here's someone who says, "A video of my dad was featured in an episode of World's Dumbest Criminals." I love you, Maddie. You are very creative and talented. Keep doing exactly what you're doing.
I think this guy's too nice. Probably part of the reason why she's so, bratty and entitled. Probably spoiled the hell out of her. Didn't really set enough boundaries. Well, probably wasn't there enough as a dad because he owns his own advertising company. He's having to make big money to keep his much younger, probably hot wife happy. So I went around enough, set those boundaries, teach her about how the world works. I got raised by privileged, entitled, hot mommy, who very soon left this poor schlub because she was incentivized to do so by the powers that be. Got her $5 million, lived a nice, happy life off this guy's dime, and his daughter has the nerve at 24. This guy paid for her college education, probably paid her rent for her first apartment, probably bought her first car, never abused her, didn't neglect her, paid for the roof over her head, paid for the food, the water, the electricity, everything, but he abandoned us. Oh, well, there's more to being a dad than just providing the resources. Really? You wouldn't know it the way that current modern-day Western, not going to say society, culture, people portray and talk about men like they're nothing more than walking, talking ATMs that are just there to provide resources. That's how women treat them. Great. So I don't know if breakdancing is the best way to get in shape. He moves pretty good for 66. I'll give him that. He's got some years on me, and he moves very well. I think I move better. But I've been doing, athletic stuff a lot longer. But anyway, there you go. Mr. Feminism leaked out of me. Apparently lied about that, too. She's still Oozing feminism, baby. She's still full of it. Feminism, that is. After watching that, so, yeah, let me know what you think. You think the dad is, being honest? Yeah. You think he's, making a lot of excuses, too nice? You think he abandoned her? You think he was a bad father? Or do you think she's just, hamming it up and playing the victim to get more clicks, more views, more followers at the expense of her father, who she clearly doesn't value much, if at all? Let me know what you think in the comments section. And please like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And on that note, I'm out of here. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care.